It was a cold, foggy winter night, and I was alone in the house. My parents were away in some far-off city to attend a wedding, and I had remained behind to pack some college things. Our wooden house had always been nothing but safe to me till now. Tonight, however, it felt different. Somehow walls were heaping high over me. I slept the whole night as I would have slept on any other regular day. I had set up my food, browsed on the net using my phone, and gone to my bedroom to work on my laptop. The hour was 11 and the house as quiet could be. The only noise that I could hear was the rustling leaves outside and the gentle ticking clock in the hallway. I was so focused on listening to what I was doing that I didn't even catch the first one, a quiet clinking noise in the kitchen. I stood stock still, ears perked. It seemed like someone was creeping around in between the dishes. I pushed it off as thinking maybe there had been a stray mouse or cat, but it did not stop. It became deliberate. I was enraged, so I stood up and prepared to go towards the kitchen, flipping on the light. The kitchen was clean and vacant. I threw my brain around in a wild manner and scolded it at my imagination level and returned to my room. I was tired at midnight. I had quit my job and was just about to shut down my laptop when I heard it again, but this time nearer. The creak was in the hallway next to my bedroom door. The creak was slow, gradual, like the person was opening the door slowly. My heart dropped. I was paralyzed by the door. The handle was halfway turned and the door crept open slowly. "Hello," I yelled in fright and horror. No reply. I braced myself and stood up and opened the door as wide as it would go. The hallway was dark and empty. I went back and forth across the whole floor, flipping every light bulb, trying to find any sign of life. Deciding it was just the house settling, as it was an old house, I locked my room and slept again. Sleep was not forthcoming either. I lay there, wide-eyed, my mind racing. When I was lazily relaxed, I felt it, a shivered tingle feeling on my skin, as if I was being watched. I rolled my head toward the window. The curtains were closed, but I could have sworn I saw a shadow move behind them. I took a great gulp of air. I wanted to scream, but lips don't release things. I was trembling, gripping the phone, and flashing on the light. I moved to the window and yanked the curtains back. The window was shut, but there were smeared, unearthly kind of marks on the glass print fingertip. My guts writhed. I tore the curtains wide in a savage motion and took a step back, thudding, heart thudding. The rest of the night was black. I was brimming with adrenaline, holding my phone in my hand, afraid even to stand up from where I was sitting. Any creak and any groan of the house would make me jump. There was this one instance when I truly thought I heard the sound of steps coming down the hallway, but I was far too frightened to get up and see who or what was producing the sound. I had left all of the lights on and was up until morning. As soon as the first light poked its way through the curtains after what seemed like an eternity, I exhaled a deep breath. I phoned my best friend Ria and begged her to visit my home. She phoned an hour later, and the two of us scoured every room in the house from the basement level to the attic top. The kitchen appliances had been turned on themselves as if they had been pilfered. My windowsill next to my bed was wet and fingerprints on the rest of the glass. The scariest of all I found was in the hallway. Next to my bedroom door on the ground were tiny muddy prints going towards the stairs. There were tiny and childish footprints. I shook with fear. I had no clue what anything of this had to do with. I took Ria with me that night, having made an overnight package. I could no longer remain in the house. My parents returned a few days later, and after letting them know all that the incident had transpired, they would initially just instruct me to just imagine, but later even they started feeling odd occurrences, slamming doors, groans, and creaks at night, and this same feeling of being watched. About a few weeks later, my mother called in a local priest. The priest rode with us back home and cleansed our home of the evil spirit in a ritual ceremony. The priest informed us that our home was possessed by a mournful child whose death in atrociously tragic conditions many years ago trapped it there. The ghost was not malevolent in nature, but lonely and attention-seeking. Even after the priest silenced us, we could not remove it from our heads. We changed homes after a few months. But even in the new home, I could not but remember the sensation of the evening, the cold of the caress, the person at the window, and the little muddy footprints. Even today, I do not know whether it was true or false. But one thing sure, I'll never wake up the following morning without sleep in that house again.